Good morning, students of class 10. You are welcome back to the e-classes now. Let's continue our lesson from the textbook. We have already finished our supplementary reader. The last portion was Bholi from supplementary reader and we have finished that. Now we'll learn from the textbook. So far in our textbook we have finished up to lesson 6, that is 100 dresses. Now we'll continue from lesson 7, the glimpses of India. Glimpse means a short quick look. Now here English, glimpses of India, a short quick look of India, that is from the textbook lesson 7. Now here there are 3 parts in this lesson. The first part is, the part 1 is Baker from Goa, the second part is Korg, and the third part is tea from Assam. So 3 parts are there in this lesson. So we'll talk about the first part of this lesson. So now listen carefully and pay attention. Now here part 1, a baker from Goa. It's all about the story, or you can say the theme of the story. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 points. Number 1, the writer. The name of the writer is Lucio. The writer Lucio presents a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village. He describes about a Goan village, the tradition, their custom about the Goan village. He describes about that. A traditional Goan village and the baker. He describes about the baker also, who still has an important place in his society. The baker from Goa, he has an important place in the society. Now we'll learn how he is an important person in a village. So number 2, elders, the old people. The elders still think fondly of the famous Portuguese loaves of bread, because Goa was ruled by Portuguese and later on they left. They had to be driven away by the Indian government. So the Portuguese, they ruled Goa, and their famous bread, Goan Portuguese bread, the elders remember those Portuguese bread. They fondly remember that. So now here number 3, the family tradition. In Goa, the family tradition is still carried on. Though the Portuguese had gone, but the tradition is still carried on even today by the new generations. By the new generation, the family tradition still it is carried on by new generation of bakers. So that is, in Goa they are fondly called padders. The bakers were popularly known as padders in Goa. We'll talk about their description later on as we go through the paragraph wise. We'll learn about their villages, about the Portuguese, the way they made the bread, and about the baker. Now number 4, even today marriage gifts are meaningless without a sweet bread named bole. They used to call this sweet bread as bole, and it is meaningless without this bread. Whether marriages, festival or parties or any ceremony, so they must have to have a sweet bread. So you can see that just as a party or a feast or any kind of celebration loses its charm, interest or beauty without Goan bread. A Goan bread has to be there. Without that Goan bread, the party, feast or any kind of celebration is meaningless. So it is so important. You can see there, it is a tradition, family tradition there. So now that's all about the chapter, and we'll go in detail. To be continued. In our next class we'll continue. What about elders, the old people? Nostalgic. Nostalgic means fondly remember. Remembrance about Portuguese bread. The old people, they remember about the old bread still now. And the new generation, they carried on the tradition, especially the bakers. They carried on their tradition of making bread. How they used to make bread, it is being taught to the new generation, and they still carried on. And even the society, they follow the same tradition. Without sweet bread, the parties and festivals and all kinds of celebrations become meaningless. So it is their culture and tradition. So we'll talk about in detail one by one according to the paragraph wise. So first we'll talk about the old people remembers the old Portuguese bread. It was delicious, tasty, and a sweet, fresh smelling of bread. So we'll talk about that in our next class. Thank you very much. You have paid so much attention and being present in the class. Thank you very much. Do not miss the classes because there are three parts of this lesson and it's quite important. So that's all for today. Thank you very much. We are doing textbook. We have finished supplementary reader. Now we are doing textbook. Continue. That is from lesson 7 up to 6. Lesson 6 we have finished 100 dresses. So now from lesson 7. So we'll carry on in our next class. Thank you very much.